Hi, everyone, and welcome. Eagles Insider Dave Spinner with head coach Doug Pederson. Our weekly one-on-one presented by Wawa. Thursday night victory. Doug, how big was it?
It was big. It was big for a lot of reasons. One, division opponent. We wanted to get off on the right foot, so to speak, and be 1-0 in the division, and so we were able to do that. We always talk about being 1-0 each week, depending on it doesn't really matter who the opponent is really. So we accomplished that, and I think just to kind of get back on track, play dominant Philadelphia Eagle football. On a short week, it was really a fun to watch our guys play.
And the blueprint worked out perfectly. Takeaway on the first possession, red zone touchdown, a 14-3 lead after the first quarter. It's nice to play with a lead from the jump.
It does, and it feels good, and it's all part of starting fast, like I've mentioned to the team here these last few weeks. We got the defensive turnover on the second play of the game. 3 plays later, offense is scoring, and it just kind of took over after that. And when you can play with the lead and score 24 points in the first half and then come out in the second half and drive the field and score again, it is very, very positive for the offense. I think it's positive for the team, but you saw now how things have kind of come together, and we're beginning to kind of click in all phases, really, now that we're about 6 weeks in.
How much did you review, if you had time to, the script, the first 15, and then the red zone, 4 of 6 in the red zone, 6 scores, 4 touchdowns?
Yeah, always go back and look at that and see, and really, I do script the first 15, the openers, and really, after about the second series, kind of got off track and just started getting into the game plan. We had a really good game plan, solid game plan. Mike Groh put together another good one, and I started diving into other areas of the game plan that maybe we haven't utilized, during the first month and a half of this season. And the guys executed extremely well. I thought Carson played well, got the ball out of his hand. A big O-line took over in the second half, dominating run performance. And then it was really, really good to see the red zone. Six attempts now, which is the most this season so far. To be 4 or 6 in the red zone and come away with points is huge.
What stuff did you dig into that you hadn't shown through 5 weeks, if I may ask?
Yeah, I think you probably saw a few more screens,
Yep.
In this game plan. And then really in the red zone, it just came down to execution. We should have probably scored on the other 2, opportunities down there. We just missed on a couple of throws and settled for a couple of kicks. But really, on a short week, sometimes you kind of go back to the basics and trying to find who you are as an offensive team, what your identity is, and I think Thursday night really showed. We got back to the RPO game, some of the things that we did earlier in not only in training camp but earlier in the season.
Doug, I guess I've really come to appreciate Alshon Jeffrey. Didn't really know a whole lot about him from Chicago. Watched him last year. He really is a game-changing wide receiver, but not a conventional speed guy. How would you describe Alshon Jeffrey and why he has so much success?
Alshon, to me, is for our system and for what we do, he's exactly what you want. He's big, he's powerful, he's physical. He's got a high catch radius in the red zone, meaning he can elevate and catch balls, what we say above the rim. That's a basketball term. And you know what he's really done this year, which has really impressed me the most? He's really began to embrace a leadership role with the guys. There's some young guys in that room, and on offense, he's a little more vocal. He shows up in practice and works extremely hard every single day. He puts in the hard work, and he's just constantly making play after play after play. And he and Carson are becoming just like Zach and Carson. They're on the same page now, and they understand. Carson understands where he's going to be and wants to get him the football and we find ways to get him the football, even if we have to kind of design something on the sideline, real quick. And it's good to have that confidence in a big target, on the perimeter.
I like to kind of spotlight some under-the-radar players too. So if I may, 3 names. DeAndre Carter, who again comes up big in the punt return game.
He's been real consistent. He was on our team, practice squad, back on our team, and we have a lot of confidence in him. He's really stepped in nicely for Darren Sproles in the punt return game, and of course with kickoff returns and stuff. He hits that thing extremely hard, and he's real close now to breaking, even a longer punt return or a kickoff return. So really excited about him and his growth and his maturity, not only special teams but also in the offense. He's a guy that, he's another one we try to find a couple plays here and there, just like Shelton Gibson, to get him in the game offensively.
And then defensively, Avonte Maddox, for a rookie, showing the versatility that he's shown is really impressive.
Very impressive. This kid is pound for pound one of the toughest kids we got. One of the toughest players we have on the football team, and he's another one that's getting better each week. The more he plays, the better he becomes. That's a tough position to go from safety to now you're dropping down in the box and playing nickel. Probably, arguably, could be one of the top receivers in the National Football League in Odell Beckham, and his quickness and his elusiveness, and did a nice job against him, all night long. And then to flip that and be a gunner on special teams and to make play after play after play and disrupt a punt return, specialist back there. A special kid.
And this one is way under the radar. Number 90, Trayvon Hester. He comes to Philadelphia. He made a play in the run game against Minnesota. And then on Thursday night, more plays inside against the Giants.
He's somebody that was really high on our draft board, when it was draft time, and when he was available, Howie Joe came and said, hey, take a look at this player. We had him, rated here, and then Chris Wilson signed off, Jim signed off on him, and he's been a really good addition to that defensive front as a tackle, and again, he continues to get better the more opportunity he has, and fitting in with the scheme.
What does this weekend mean for the players?
Means a chance to get away, and just kind of rest and spend time with family, friends, and sort of just sit back and watch games as a fan, and think about these first 6 weeks and kind of what we've been through. It's been a grind, to get to where we are at 3-3. Easily could maybe be 5-1 or 4-2, but we are where we are, and we've earned everything that we've gotten, and to come back fresh next week and really make a nice push here now for these next 2 weeks before we get a full break, and really step away from it for a while.
You feel like there's more swagger around the building?
I do. I mean, you saw it in the game Thursday night, with some of the getting back to that swagger with group celebrations and different things, and some of the pictures that I saw with the guys, and that's what we got to get back to. That's Eagle brand of football, but we always say that execution fuels emotion. Well, if we execute properly and do things right, the emotion is going to show, and that's what we got to continue to do.
Good stuff. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Dave.
Doug Pederson in studio, presented by Wawa. Thanks for joining us.